Quick Slants is presented by your local New England Honda dealers.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it looks like. Any microscopic chance that Bill Belichick had to coach the Patriots for a 25th season? Probably snuffed out on Sunday. Welcome into Quick Slant's 22 minutes of informative Patriots talk. Between the Germany humiliation and Sunday, the man had 14 days to decide how he wanted to proceed at the most important position in professional sports. He never really decided. He divvied up the reps. He kept his team in the dark all week. He smugly shrugged his way through media periods, and then on Sunday, voila! He unveils an unwatchable offense yet again. The direction of the team and the product itself were already enough to seal Bill's fate, sadly. But appearing to clock out on trying to put a representative offensive product on the field, that's a wrap. Time now for the game plan. What are we going to get into? Oh, Bill O'Brien, unfiltered. Very, very candid with us today, and that's appreciated because at this juncture we could use some candor. Pass the Mac. Everybody's trying to pass the buck on the quarterback. Market a Bill. Will Bill have a place to land? And where would that be? And finally, polls and comments. We love our polls and comments. But Michael Hurley, as I bring you in here from CBS, of course, what's your reaction to what you saw unfold at MetLife Stadium offensively?
I just think we're so in the thick of it that maybe we don't recognize that the Patriots lost to Tommy DeVito. They lost to Tommy DeVito. Everyone's making the Italian hit. It's a joke almost. It's unfathomable in years past, but it's just where they are now, that there is no game that is not losable for them. So it's certainly gone beyond the pale in regards to how far they've fallen, how quickly they've fallen. And it just stinks, Tom. I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat it. You could dress it up and say, oh, draft pick race. It just stinks. Yeah,
I mean, nobody had the Minshew, Howell, DeVito trifecta of losses by any stretch of the imagination, yet they got it done. Time now for Quick Fire. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Here's Bill O'Brien first up. And he is talking about taking ownership and who gets the blame.
Things haven't gone great for him this year. I don't think that he's the number one guy to blame. If you want to blame anybody, blame me. I'm the one that designs it, and it's not going very well.
All right, Mike, it's good to hear him step to the mic, but clearly he is in charge of driving a jalopy offensively. What's your take on Bill O'Brien's comment?
Yeah, and I mean, all due respect, he said today, you get to work at 5, you're grinding all day, you're so focused on it. What are they doing? What are they doing there? Because you watch the product, they don't have anything that works. They don't, aside from running the ball, which they don't do enough of. So I don't know what they're doing. I will say, Bill O'Brien came into this, I've said it a million times, he came into this, the easiest job in the world, just be better than Matt Patricia, but he's been worse.
Somehow he has. Meanwhile, heads are starting to roll around the NFL. On the sidelines, there was a coach, Frank Reich, who was taken behind the woodshed and didn't come back. David Tepper is the owner of the Carolina Panthers. What's he looking for in a new head coach?
I do have patience. I'm just not. My reputation away from this game is one for extreme patience. There's no reason why that doesn't, come here too. It does. Now, that patience comes with good performance and things that you want to see progress being made on different aspects. And as I said, I would like to have somebody here for 20, 30 years. I'd like to have somebody that would say eulogy at my funeral in 30 years. Okay, maybe it's 40 years, I hope. But that's what I'd like to have.
All right, he does fire coaches like it's going out of style. Meanwhile, he cannot keep his damn hands out of the soup down there. He gave a performative F-bomb the other day so reporters could hear just how mad he was. Bill Belichick has a fit in Carolina. I don't see it. The reason? Robert Kraft had an epiphany when he hired Bill Belichick, and that was, I got to get the hell away from the football after 7 years of being involved with it and give it to somebody. Tepper ain't there yet, Michael.
Yeah, and again, I don't know that Bill Belichick will be delivering Tepper's eulogy 40 years down the line. That's an ambitious goal for an owner to have for the next head coach. And, maybe Tepper will have that epiphany now, but it just doesn't seem like the right fit. I think Tepper, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out and hires Greg Olson. Did you watch the whatever they call it, the hard knocks they had with the Panthers. He wanted to be buddies with all the players. He's going to hire a buddy. He wants Greg Olsen to be his best friend, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting hire because there's really nobody out there, and we haven't really investigated all the candidates, but it's not like there's 9 guys on the sidelines so you can say, oh yeah, this guy's going to rehab a franchise like that. You never know who it's going to be, and usually it's a cadre of people. Meanwhile, when it comes to the Patriots and rehabbing their franchise, Gerard Mayo may be the next man up here. Here's Mayo talking about the defense on Tuesday doing its job.
Yeah, defensively, these guys have done a great job kind of, just staying locked in on what we can do. And we always talk about control, the controllables. And I think the guys, have done a good job. I will say this, these are professional players, and they've acted in a professional manner. I don't see any drop-off as far as this attitude or willingness to go out there and play hard, and you won't see a drop-off this week as well.
I think that as we look at what the Patriots might do at the end of the season, if and when Bill Belichick is removed, I think a lot of people are saying, look, they probably should just have a new broom sweeps clean and bring in an entire new regime. That's not going to happen. The Patriots dynasty and the DNA from it, I think the Kraft family wants to see continue. That's why Gerard Mayo will absolutely be in the mix going forward. Do you think that's a good idea?
I mean, that seemed to be the plan, so why deviate from the plan if that was it? I do like Gerard Mayo as a coach. I do think separately, but I do kind of subscribe to that reset theory. So I don't know that I'd want anything to do with this team, but, for as well as the defense has been playing, it should be said, a wise man called it the DeVito Minshew Howell trifecta. So let's not get too crazy about how well they've played recently. They've been okay, but nothing to really blow you away this year.
Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's really just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. But this splitting of the reps that emerged in the conversation around it on Monday was that, well, Matt got the majority of the reps and the players knew they didn't. They were kept in the dark all week. And if Bill will acknowledge on Monday he got the majority of the reps, if you held his feet to the fire or hit him with the truth serum, he'd be telling you it was about 53 to 47. The players didn't know. Mac didn't get the majority of reps. And to further this, Mike, in 2001, when the Patriots lost to the St. Louis Rams in the regular season, they split reps between Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady going into that week. Belichick said in 2019, that was a mistake. How can anyone be ready with split reps to perform in a game? They split reps before the Giants game. We're not talking Brady and Bledsoe right now by any stretch. But to me, Bill is trying to gild the lily a little bit as to what actually was done. And to me, the reps were split. Whether it was 51-49, 60-40, nobody got full work. We got it right. The players didn't know. Stop it with this revisionist history of everybody knew Mac was going to be the starter all along because it's a crock.
First of all, I love this show because you always get a new saying, gild the lilies. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. I think this is a problem, Tom. This is a problem that there's no solution to. That's why they're going to willow in. And yeah, it's contradictory to past philosophies and past preparations because he had Tom Brady back then. There's a difference to the situation now. Honestly, if Mac Jones got more reps, would he have not thrown a back foot interception at the end of the first quarter? Would he have not panicked and thrown it? No, he would have done that. That's what he's doing. So I don't know. If anyone should be getting more, it should be Bailey Zappi. And again, you're running out of dividends from doing that. So there's no solution to it.
Yeah. We're going to get into the Bailey Zappi conversation later in the program. Hold your horses with that. Meanwhile, glory days, they'll pass you by. Rodney Harris and Vince Wilfork, a couple of the Glory Day members of the Patriots, both named Hall of Fame finalists again. Mikey boy, Vince definitely. Rodney ought to be, but Vince is a definite.
Yeah, I'm sick of arguing for Harrison because he just should be. I think we obviously know by now he played violent, he played angry, and he hurt people, and he hurt people's feelings, so that's always going to be held against him, which it was a different era. Grow up, people. Wilfork, I like his chances. You know why, Tom? Because you don't have the stats. You don't have the objective case. You have these guys in the quorum of voters for their Hall of Fame that will say, oh, yes, I see the game a little bit elevated to the rest of you, so I can make this point, and people might say, this guy's got a point. So I like Vince Wilfork's chances eventually, probably not first time, whatever it may be.
So much of it boils down to honors, whether it's All-Pro or Pro Bowl or decade teams, and to me, it's hard when you start doing that because it's not a measure necessarily, it's votes. Time now from the stands. Today's polls question is presented by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. Threw it out there. How much interest will teams have in hiring Bill Belichick to run their team in 2024? Woo! This was close.
Wow.
But winning was teams will be lining up. Tepid at best, came just behind. And then none garnered 7% of the votes. Let's go to the comments. We got Ron Smith. Buffalo and the Chargers are 5 games better if Belichick's their head coach. People don't think BB has it anymore. Watch and see the suitors come time, and I bet players flock to where he lands. I'll flock and take that bet. Jeff full of himself. Teams will be lining up only, and I agree with this, because owners, for the most part, are wildly out of touch with reality. Chucky CC, hard to imagine any NFL team giving him a dictatorship, the dictatorship that he has now. And Shaney Picks, he will be in the Super Bowl again, and the selfish fans who ran him out of town will say, why not us? It's called patience and appreciation for what you have. Please don't take any offense at that. Shaney, I'm sure that you don't sound like that. I just figured I'd put that on you because I disagree with you. Mike, thoughts on landing spots?
Yeah, a bit aggressive there at the end. I think there might be a couple teams that will come too, but it won't be an all-out feeding frenzy because I think if you are in touch with reality, which not every owner is, this franchise has been directionless for 4 or 5 years. Going back the year they won the Super Bowl, Tom, Bill Belichick tried to trade Rob Gronkowski, who won the Super Bowl with a diving catch. You don't win that Super Bowl. So this is a 4 or 5 year situation where roster management, player assets, understanding where the game is right now has been slipping away from the way this franchise has been run. So people super in tune with that, yes, but it's hard to predict what these owners will do. So I do think a couple teams will certainly come calling.
Always remember, don't ever forget, it started with Malcolm. Coming up after the break, we're going to get you my slant. It's going to be on Mac. And just whose idea was this guy anyway? Don't move. Potential brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lepresti. Look younger, feel younger, get your hair back with Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. That's Lepresti. Let's pronounce the words correctly of our sponsors. Mac Jones, here's how it has gone for him. Ruminate on that. Take a look. I don't have to read it to you. Everything's kind of down, except for picks, which are on their way up. Which brings me now to my slant. Watch how. Now, Bill had an option right there. You could say, yeah, I absolutely was in on Mac. Organizationally, we all felt that was the right thing to do, but the buck stops with me, and Mac Jones at 15 made sense, and he did. And here's what's interesting as we try and relitigate what the Patriots should have done. And there was conversation on draft night. Well, the Patriots didn't move up to get Mac. How much did they really want him? Bottom line is this. The Patriots had Cam Newton who couldn't throw overhand. Mac beat him out during training camp, decidedly. Additionally, they had a team that had no quarterback. They had a quarterback who the 49ers at number 2 were considering, and Bill loves Kyle Shanahan and the Niners' way of doing things. So Mac at 15 was an absolute layup. Would Robert Kraft have said, boy, I sure would like to see that kid from Alabama here? I wouldn't doubt that. But if you've been paying attention, you know that Bill Belichick has never been forced into anything while Robert Kraft has been his owner, including Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. I mean, are you out of your minds that Bill's going to sit there and draft a quarterback because Robert told him to? They were all in on it. And how do I know that they were all in on it? Bill included, because in August of 2022, Bill was talking about what a dramatic improvement Mac had made from his brilliant rookie year. So you want to relitigate whether or not it was Robert Kraft forcing Bill to draft Mac Jones right now? Go ahead, have at it. But the bottom line is, Bill is passing the buck if he is insisting otherwise and not saying, that was me. He doesn't do that a lot, does he, Mike, when we look at Bill Belichick?
No,
he doesn't have a lot of, yeah, that was me.
No.
I mean, he'll do a passing reference to taking ownership, but...
Got to coach better.
Yeah, but, you know, as they say, victory has 1,000 fathers, failure is an orphan.
That's true. I do think, Tom, I still believe if Mac had been gone, scooped up before that, I still believe there was a trigger to be pulled to get Jimmy Garoppolo here because I think Bill loves that guy. So I still think there was that part, but I think the deal was if he's there, you got to take him. You need the quarterback. And I really think with respect, you know I'm a respectful person, Tom. With respect to this conversation, it's irrelevant. It's 3 years down the line. The question is, did you nurture this player? Did you foster this player to create the best situation for him? You did as a rookie. You brought in Aguilar, Bourne, Henry, Smith. You had Josh McDaniels. What did you do after that? You let the roster break down. You let the offensive coach move away. You put Matt Patricia on the kid and Joe Judge on the kid. You kind of sabotaged him. So that is what's more relevant to the present day than draft day 3 years ago.
Absolutely, but I think that given we have such a broad fan base that we speak with and to, and a team that we report on, there's going to be a large segment who believes strongly that Mac Jones is here because Robert Kraft made Bill Belichick take him. The same way they believe that the lighthouse takes away from the product on the field, which is also absolute malarkey. Meanwhile, to feed further the conversation about Robert Kraft, Bill O'Brien talked today about who makes the decision as to whether or not Mac Jones will start and whether O'Brien has any say.
If you got to a point where you thought it would be best for Mac to sit a week or more or whatever, could you make that call?
I don't make those calls. I don't think there's a chain of command, Karen. There's a chain of command. The chain of command is Mr. Kraft at the top, right? Then it's Bill Belichick, and then I would say the assistant coaches are somewhere down in here.
And in that chain of command, Michael, Robert Kraft has said any number of times, I allow my leaders, my bosses, my managers, actually is the phrase he usually uses, to run my businesses. And he has done that with Bill Belichick time and time and time again. And he's noted publicly and privately, and Bill's earned that.
Yeah, what stands out, Tom, that's 2 straight weeks Bill O'Brien's asked a question about coaching and just brings up Robert Kraft. I don't recall that being a common answer from assistant coaches saying, well, Robert Kraft's involved in the thing. That stands out to me for sure, and it makes you wonder. You're the host. I'm the little guest here in the chair. Do you think Bill O'Brien talks to Bill Belichick often? I'm not getting the vibe that they're chatting, meeting daily. Do you?
Yeah, I think it might be in general. I don't think that they're hashing out philosophy and what they're going through. I think that they go about, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong. So I shouldn't even speculate at this time. I will say this. About Bailey Zappi, it's time to figure out what you have in him. So if somebody's going to put their thumb on the scale because Mac Jones is about to be the starter again, I think now you need to establish, is Bailey Zappi over the next 6 games capable of being a spot starter / backup in the NFL, or does he got to go too? So I'd love to see Bailey Zappi for the next 6. Who knew I was going to say that? Holy crap. All right, Wednesday at 6 o'clock, catch the game plan. Disco Tommy Giles has the latest from Foxborough as the Patriots get ready. Oh, they got a game to host the Chargers. This is a must-win game, folks. The game plan is presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Coming up after the break, more Bill O'Brien, because again, he was terrific, I thought, today. And any port in a storm when you're trying to get insight at this place and at this point. Oh, yeah, this was the part where we preview the game coming up. Stoppable Force First Movable Object. Rob Snyder, our producer, just was on fire today. I'm going to read it. You're not going to read it. You guys can read it. Okay? Opportunity is knocking. And for the Patriots to actually answer the door, they cannot afford to have any more interceptions. Bill O'Brien actually breaking down Mac's 2 picks on Sunday. Again, thank you.
The one play where he threw the first interception, there was a protection breakdown. He's got to make a better decision there to throw the ball out of bounds. We have to do a better job of protecting, designing the protection, executing the protection. I'm just being real with you. Then the next interception, we were basically in a situation where they brought an extra guy, and we got to get the ball out. We got to make a good decision, or we got to take the sack. So in that situation, in both those situations, he would probably be the first to tell you that he's got to make a better decision.
Lightning didn't strike. The world stayed a perfect sphere. You could actually give intel on what happens in the game in detail, and we're not all struck dead. Well, thank you, because for 24 years I didn't know that was the case. I joke, because Bill Belichick has been, in so many ways, a pleasure to coach. And when they're winning, I sucked it up and sat there and listened to the conversation, or lack thereof, happily, because that's what it was. But now we need a little bit more. But as we look at Bill's perhaps end of days, it is worth asking the people who work with him closest how they feel about kind of this speculation swirling around Bill.
Like, this is Bill Belichick we're talking about. Bill Belichick has done so much for the game of football, the New England Patriots organization. It's football. We've lost some tight games. To think about what he's done here in this organization, what he's done for this community, what he's done for this game, for the game of football. He's been 50 years in the game of football. Just to me, I think everybody just needs to understand, look, we all got to win. We understand we're in a winning business. We're not winning right now, but, I think you also got to step back and just, hey, look at what this guy's done for the game of football. I think that's very important to think about.
I agree. And these two conversations are on parallel streets. And the more important street, the high road, is Bill Belichick's accomplishments and all he's done here in New England. Look, he's stuffed billions of dollars into the local economy over 24 years, into the ownership's pockets, into businesses, into media entities, into people like me, who, if I was covering the Arizona Cardinals or the Cleveland Browns, I wouldn't have had a good time in this industry and probably would have been off, spraying lawns by now. I'm lucky to have covered Bill Belichick, but we do have to scrutinize how this apparently is going to end. They're 2-9, and they are not starting to string together wins. Chin up!